Welcome back to Pokemon Emerald, and we're just in time to see Archie make off with the red orb. That's right, this isn't a mistake. Archie actually went away with the red orb. I'm gonna come back to this later, and... oh, that stupid laugh again. What kind of laugh is that? Okay, and yeah. The blue orb and the red orb have been taken. Maxie came here earlier and made off with the blue orb, and Archie just took the red orb. In Ruby, Maxie takes the blue orb, and this woman here gives you the red orb and the reverse in Sapphire. But in Emerald, they were both stolen, and instead, this woman gives you the Magma emblem, which is used to open the doorway to the Magma hideout in the Jagged Pass. And now, okay, blue orb and the red orb, they must never be apart. And yeah, something terrible will happen, but that's because Maxie and Archie were stupid to make off with the wrong orbs. I'm not kidding, but I'll come back to this later, because this guy here is going to tell me the old legend about Kyogre and Groudon's never-ending duel, and how they were become by Rayquaza. And this is a rather important bit of story that we're finding out about here, because I'm not gonna hide anything from you. I'm gonna give you some spoilers, but it's very close. It's at the end of the next dungeon, which is the Magma hideout. There's Groudon at the end of this place. And yeah, Team Magma found Groudon in the bowels of Mount Chimney, so... wait, what? The blue orb and the red orb brought an end to the calamity? Thought it was Rayquaza! So the orbs just sort of appeared out of nowhere? Where did they come from? Where did they go? Nobody knows! And yeah, I honestly thought it was Rayquaza that became Kyogre and Groudon, and doesn't seem to be anything there, so I'm just going to fly to Lava Ridge. But yeah, I remembered that it was Rayquaza that calmed Kyogre and Groudon down, not the orbs. But I guess they had to put the orbs in the story somehow, and we're maybe still a bit too early in the game to find out about Rayquaza. But come on, it would have been way cooler if it was Rayquaza that did it. Like, roar! Stop fighting this instant, else I'll smoke both of your asses! Instead of the orbs that pop down from nowhere, I guess. And Kyogre and Groudon are like, oh, pretty rock. So now I'm heading back to Mount Chimney, because as I said, the Magma hideout is in the Jagged Pass. Remember that place where I fought that Magma Grunt in the Jagged Pass right after doing Mount Chimney for the first time? Well, right here, yep. This boulder is shaking in response to the Magma emblem. This is basically the key to the Magma hideout, and unlike the Aqua hideout, which was the Magma hideout in Ruby, I guess, there are wild Pokemon in there. I checked in the Pokémon beforehand, and Geodude's a common Pokemon. Torkoal is a bit less common, but still relatively common. And we've got Graveler as a semi-rare encounter here. And this place is rather linear, except for a few side paths. You just saw an item there, yep, right here. Well, it's at the end of one of those side paths, and I can't access it from this room, so I'm going to have to continue a bit further on. And one thing about this place is that aside from 2 or 3 grunts, every grunt in this hideout only has one Pokemon. See what I was talking about the evil teams poorly outfitting their grunts in the last video? Well, this is the perfect example of it. Though I guess they did it so that because, you know, this dungeon wasn't here in Ruby and Sapphire, so they didn't want to change all the levels of all the trainers and wild Pokemon from this point on in the game, so I guess what they wanted to do was to have you fight as few Pokemon in this area as possible, and protect! Dan, stop stalling! You're gonna die anyway! You're a stupid wild Torkoal! You're matched up against a water type, a very strong water type! You're gonna lose anyway! So just quit stalling! But, okay, I promised I'd come back to that. The fact that Maxie and Archie made off with the wrong orbs. Seriously! Come on! You're trying to control a red Pokemon, okay? And you have the choice between using the red orb and the blue orb. And he picks the blue orb. Bad idea. Because, well, he does the same thing in Ruby, and Archie does the same thing in Sapphire. But, seriously, it's the red orb that controls Groudon. You, as the player, use the red orb to control Groudon in Ruby. You use the blue orb to control Kyogre in Sapphire. So, really, the blue orb is basically the embodiment of Kyogre's power. So flashing that in front of Groudon is just gonna make Groudon go like, "Roar! Kyogre! Where are you? I hate you! I will kill you! Kyogre, where are you?" And obviously later in the game, Archie's gonna do the same with the red orb for Kyogre, which is gonna lead to the two meeting each other and fighting without end. And the reason why I thought it was Rayquaza that becalmed them the first time was because Maxie and Archie in Emerald try to become the two with the orbs. And it doesn't do jack shit. You need to go get Rayquaza at the Sky Pillar in order to have them stop fighting. So I imagine that was Rayquaza because of the nature of the events in Emerald being like history repeats itself, that kind of thing. And by the way, when I'm talking about the orbs, I will remind you that, as I said, you use the red orb to control Groudon in Ruby, but you also do the same in Soul Silver, whereas you use the blue orb to control Kyogre in Hard Gold and Sapphire. And Hard Gold and Soul Silver also introduce the Jade Orb, which is an item that you obtain when you gather a Kyogre from Hard Gold and a Groudon from Soul Silver, which I don't think has any storyline relevance. It's just there, as added content in Hard Gold and Soul Silver. And while I'm talking about Uber mascots, I've seen a few people, not too many, but 2 or 3, complain that Reshiram and Zekrom were a bit too much alike compared to each other. Well, personally, I don't agree with that at all. They look rather different. Well, they don't look any more alike than Lugia and Ho-Oh between each other, or Dialga and Palkia. I mean, both pairs had some similarities. Though Kyogre and Groudon, that's not the case because, well, we're obviously talking about a giant fish thing and a giant nameless beast thing. But anyway, Lugia and Ho-Oh had some similarities between each other, but not so much that you'd call them alike. Same thing for Dialga and Palkia, and same thing for Reshiram and Zekrom. If anything, Zekrom looks more like Palkia than it does Reshiram. Yeah, Zekrom looks sort of like a crossbreed between Palkia and Ultimate Weapon. And even if Reshiram and Zekrom share some similarities, it's only normal. They're very closely related Pokemon. Look at any pair of closely related Pokemon. You're gonna notice that they have several similarities, and in extreme cases like Plusle and Minun, they all look nearly alike. But that's not something you can say for any of the 3 pairs of Ubers that I mentioned. Okay, so I'm gonna stop talking about this now, but one little fact before I go. Apparently, Reshiram's name comes from the Japanese word for to grow light, and Zekrom comes from the Japanese word for to grow dark. So if there was any speculation still going on at all, it should be over. Light and darkness, it is. So next time, more Magma Hideout fun.